Oh, leave that on till they present, till they introduce. Yes, sir.
Oh, hi everyone. This is our group, and we're going to talk to you about timber. My name's Josh. This is DK. This guy here is Ryan, and that's Calvin. First of all, it's nice to see you all again, and well, we hope you learn something from us. Yeah, and all we're going to talk about really is we've got like 4 subtopics here, which is what is timber, an understanding of timber, what's one? The timber qualities, and the last one is season. So what we'll get started with DP.
So, we're going to talk about the timber technology. So before that, I thought we should talk about what is a timber first. We know timber well, then we can make control the technology well. So, starting with how a tree grows. It sounds like a bit primary school thing, but we can consist trees 3 like a root and trunk and crown. Obviously they're drinking water, so the water and minerals from the root to the crown through the trunk, and then they doing some very important things, action. The action called photosynthesis, which is good because they make fresh air, so we can breathe, and then even they make energy for themselves. So that is a good thing. And in both buildings, we're using a lot of timbers, but that looks like same, but we can they are different, so we can separately as hardwood and softwood. And they have a different shape, so it's easy to separate it. Hardwood has a broad and wide leaf, and then softwood have little tiny sharp leaves like a needle. So example hardwood is oak, ash, beech, and birch, and softwood is spruce, pine, fir, like that thing. And next is plantation forestry in New Zealand, because we are in New Zealand, obviously. So, New Zealand plantation is based on sustainable plantation of usually Pinus radiata. Commonly, they call it New Zealand radiata or radiata pine, New Zealand pine or radiata pine, and Douglas fir and various cypress and eucalypt species are also grown for timber in New Zealand. And forestry in New Zealand is geared to both domestic and export demanded well. So that's good for New Zealand, and that's the big industry in here. So I'll pass it to
Understanding timber. When applying timber to boat building, we are always trying to get the best performance from the timber we use, which is why it's important to understand its properties and structural integrity when under marine elements. So here's just a quick diagram of what a tree looks like when you're looking at the inside. I'll just pass this around so you get an actual look at it close up. And here's one I'll talk about later. So you have your obvious things here, which are the annular rings. Heartwood, which is located around the middle. The sapwood is more on the outer part of the tree, and the pitch is what is the center of the tree, like the bark, the protection layer. And basically, I just want to talk about these 2 parts of the tree here, the heartwood and sapwood, because that's usually what's located in when the timber's cut up. And the heartwood usually takes place when a chemical reaction occurs after when it's grown, and sometimes it's usually known as a dead part of the tree. The sapwood is the new living part of the tree, and that's where all the nutrients flow from the roots up to the leaves. And when we're using the timber like these parts of the wood, some say that sapwood is the best part of the tree, because when the tree is growing from a small tree, it usually has like a lot of branches in it. So as it gets older, the branches fall off, and that part of that branch is overgrown and becomes like the knot or stub. So usually most of the knots in that are found around the middle because of the earlier, when it was a smaller tree. So that's why they sometimes say sapwood is the best part of the tree to use. The next topic is wood grain.
6 minutes.
Understanding the wood grain is important because usually when you're cutting timber or shaping it, it's important to know what direction the grain is flowing. So if you look at this part, this timber here, you'll see all these lines here. And it's also like, from this view, they're actually these annular rings. And if you think of like a dog, when you're like stroking the fur, if you kind of like go against the fur, you can feel it sort of resist against it. But if you go with it, it's kind of smooth. And the same goes for when you're sort of shaping your timber in there. So that's really good if you're like a carver or if you're trying to paint something. So it really helps. And yeah, there's just a few pictures here. This part of the timber is called the end grain. That's an example there of someone putting a joint together. You have the end grain on the ends, and yeah, that's the direction of the grain. Okay, so off to you, Calvin.
I'm here to talk about the qualities of timber. Timber, unlike plywood, is not really graded, as in doesn't have like grade A, grade B. When you're grading timber, it is how the surface looks and how the timber is sawn, either quarter sawn or slab sawn. When buying timber, always inspect it, because sometimes you can buy it and it'll have a mixture of sapwood and hardwood stuck together. So like it would like separate the two. And I read this in a book where buying top quality, buy top available quality, because if you subtract the amount of time you're going to have to put into taking out the knots in the wood and stuff like that, it will be a bargain much more better. Plywood. Marine grade ply is manufactured to be durable and resist longer in humidity and moisture. Then the other thing is to always buy top grade plywood. So like here's a little table of how plywood's graded. And one of the most top quality plywood you can buy these days is Gaboon. And Gaboon has one side graded A and the other side graded B, which is cool. Rotten timber. What is rot? Rot is pretty much the decay and composition of the timber. For example, this piece right here. There's different kinds of rotten timber. There is dry rot, which is pretty much the wood gets digested of the strengthening parts of the timber. And there is wet rot, which pretty much is the one that mainly happens in and then
10 minutes.
Hey guys, so to talk about seasoning. So what is seasoning? Seasoning is a controlled progress of reducing moisture contents in timber so it is suitable for the environment or the intended needed. Although seasoned timber is lighter, it is stronger and it reduces the chance of it bowing or cupping. Timber with a high moisture content is difficult to finish in, for example, painting or varnishing. The aim of seasoning the timber is to dry it out to a moisture content of 20 to 22% or less. That is how it looks in a timber seasoning building. There we go. So all the timber is stacked with a 25mm spacing apart, so it has a big enough space for the air flow to all flow through and circulate. So there's two main ways of seasoning timber in a natural air. Sorry, one way in natural air. It requires to be. This shows how it's stacked in the air current and how it flows through. You need to make sure that it's stacked stably. Natural air is when the air seasoning timber method used with the timber stacked in the open air. It requires to be stacked stable and safely with a horizontal spacing that is 25mm. Vertical spacing is achieved by using timber battens. Today people choose to use plastic battens so it doesn't interfere with the wood and timber. But there's just some information on it. And there's artificial seasoning. There's two ways of doing this, and this way is gone. There. Both methods rely on a controlled environment to dry out the timber and require the following factors. The following factors are forced air circulation by using large fans, blowers, etc. Heat of some from provided by pipe steamed, and humidity control provided by steam jets. Two main ways is progressive and compartmental. With progressive, a progressive kiln has a stack of trolleys that progressively travel through the chambers that change the conditions as it travels through a verifying atmosphere. And complement kiln is single enclosed container of buildings, etc. The timber is stacked and described above from both whole stack is seasoned using a program of settings until the whole stack is reduced to the moisture content. The advantage of artificial seasoning is that you have an ongoing supply of it, but as seasoning takes usually a year for each.
Well, that's it from us, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us anything.
Thank you.